It's now my pleasure to welcome Caleb Spivak, a grade 8 student from Royal Oak Middle School, to lead us in singing our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you so very much for that outstanding rendition. Your Honor, Premier, members of the Order of British Columbia Advisory Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a sincere pleasure to welcome all the recipients of the Order of British Columbia, their guests and members of the Advisory Council to this year's investiture ceremony. I'd also like to acknowledge Her Honor, the Honorable Manon Janot, Lieutenant Governor of Quebec. We are very delighted to have you joining us here today. Thank you so very much as you're out here on a multi-day tour of the Western region. Your presence certainly adds great significance to this special occasion as we come together to honor so many remarkable achievements. A warm welcome all to those in TV land tuning in to the live stream. Thank you so very, very much, particularly Dr. Ruth Grunau, 2025 recipient, friends, past recipients, nominators, and other distinguished guests. I would ask that you could kindly remain standing if you're able to for the Chief Counselor Jerome Thomas, who will be providing a welcome to the territory. Chief.
It's Rachel. Good day, everyone. Chief Jerome Thomas. My traditional name is Sisnuk. I'd like to welcome everyone to our traditional territory of the Lekwungen people, Songhees and Esquimalt Nation. I'm from the Esquimalt Nation. I'd like to thank everyone for being here and wish everyone who traveled here safe travels home. Haichka, everyone.
Thanks very, very much, Chief. I would like to now welcome Councillor Norman Gary Sam, who will also provide a territorial welcome from Songhees.
It's great to see you. The Nesnes, the Quilipton, just a Lekwungen. And Haichka, Aquans, Anea Techo, Lekwungen, Tangoch, Osiam. My dear friends, it is my great honor to be here to represent the Songhees Nation and to deliver a traditional territory protocol and to share a paddle welcome song to escort these dignitaries to this ceremony. To share that paddle song to acknowledge that we are coming in peace, and we are giving thanks to the supernatural, to our ancestors in present. And I just thank you for giving this time to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhees, and the Kosapsum, Esquimalt Nation. I raise my hands to you for your time today. Haichikasia.
Thank you so very much, Councillor Sam. I would now like to, please be seated. I would now like to invite Her Honor, the Honourable Wendy Cocchia, 31st Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia and Chancellor of the Order, to deliver her welcome remarks. Your Honor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Chief Councillor Thomas and Councillor Sam, for starting us off in such a good way and for the traditional welcome. And thank you, Callum. What a way to lead us into singing the national anthem. Wasn't the beginning beautiful? We are gathered on the ancestral lands of the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhe and Esquimalt nations, and I thank them for sharing these lands in peace and friendship. As the Crown's representative and a very proud British Columbian, I hold sacred our relationship with all Indigenous peoples, and I honor the enduring connection that we have with over 200 First Nations who have called these lands home for millennia. Elders, chiefs, First Nations Leadership Council, Premier O.B.C, La Lieutenant Gouverneur du Québec, Manon Jeannot, Mr. Speaker, members of the Order of British Columbia Council and members of the Order, MLAs, deputy ministers, distinguished guests, family, and friends, welcome, bienvenue, O.C. On behalf of His Honor, Sergio and I are so pleased to have you here today at Government House, the official ceremonial home for all British Columbians. Today, we express our profound gratitude to the Order of British Columbia Council and its chair, Chief Justice Marchand. Looking at the recipient list, you folks did a really good job. A heartfelt thanks to Fire Chief Hurst and Major Fisher, who are serving as my aide-de-camp today. I really appreciate both of you for your volunteerism. Thank you. And now, I know that you will agree with me that today is going to be, and already is kicked off to be, a terrific ceremonial event. I want to thank the groups that are responsible for everything that you are going to enjoy. Thank you to the Premier's Office, the Office of Protocol, and of course, our Government House team here. Thank you, everyone. Through the Order of British Columbia, we celebrate those who embody the best of our province. 530 people, 530 leaders have received this honor, including the 17 extraordinary individuals that we will invest today. So to our recipients, you are joining an exceptional cohort. And if you're curious about the percentage of British Columbians that hold the O.B.C, it's 0.009%. The Order of British Columbia succeeded the Order of the Dogwood, which recognized 13 individuals, only 13, but that included the Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth II, and Terry Fox. So your O.B.C connects you to that legacy. The Order of British Columbia medal features the dogwood and a crowned shield of arms. Those serve as symbols of BC's story and our sovereignty under King Charles III. The dogwood is a significant symbol for British Columbia. During World War II, Women's Group sold dogwood pins as fundraisers for our soldiers. In 1956, the dogwood emblem became the official floral emblem for British Columbia. And the dogwood also inspired the Centennial Medallion. So wearing the dogwood medal links you to that rich history of service, community, and empathy. So wear it with immense pride. Wear the pin every single day. Wear it on your suits, wear it on your jackets, wear it to the grocery store, even on your pajamas. This honor comes with the responsibility to be proud of your place in history. Only those that have made a profound difference through success, service, and sacrifice are selected for the highest honor that our province bestows on its citizens. Our province of 5.7 million people are better off today because of all of you. So bravo to each and every one of the investees. Enjoy each and every moment today with your friends, with your families and supporters. We know that we don't get here alone. And to all 17 of our Order of British Columbia recipients, on behalf of His Majesty King Charles III, the King of Canada, you are remarkable, you are appreciated, and you are the pride of British Columbia. Thank you, merci, Haitchka.
I'm now very delighted to turn the proceedings over to your Director of Ceremonies this afternoon, Lucy Lobmeyer, who's the Executive Director, Chief of Protocol, and Secretary to the O.B.C. Advisory Council, and a dear friend and colleague. Lucy.
Thank you, Jeremy. So, as Her Honor mentioned, we are gathered here today to celebrate the remarkable achievements of these deserving recipients and the contributions you have made to our province. This year, we received more than 200 nominations. While many more individuals are deserving of this honor than we can choose each year, we extend our sincere gratitude to the members of the Advisory Council for their diligent and thoughtful deliberations in making these recommendations. I'd now like to ask members of the Advisory Council who are here with us today to stand as I say your name. The Honourable Raj Chauhan, Speaker of the Legislative Assembly. Dr. Trish Kelly, President and Vice Chancellor of Emily Carr University of Art and Design. Trish Mandeo, President of the Union of B.C. Municipalities. Leslie Teramoto, Deputy Minister of the Intergovernmental Relations Secretariat. John Anderson, O.B.C., and Kathy Ulrich, O.B.C. Her Honor, the Lieutenant Governor is pleased to be the Chancellor of the Order. The Honourable Len Marchant, Chief Justice of BC, is the Chair of the Advisory Council, but unfortunately couldn't be with us here today. Could you please join me in thanking the Advisory Council for their work in going through all those nominations? Thank you. Over the 36 years since the inception of the Order of British Columbia, 530 exceptional people have been recognized with the honor. And today, we are pleased to be welcoming our latest recipients into the order. I would now like to move on to the reading of the letters patent. Her Honor has instructed me to present to her these persons for investiture with the Order of British Columbia and to read the letters patent conferring the order upon them. Recipients, please stand as you are able as I call your name, and guests, please hold your applause until all the recipients have been announced. Charles III, by the grace of God, of the United Kingdom, Canada, and his other realms and territories, King, Head of the Commonwealth, Defender of the Faith. To Stan Bevan, Graham Clark, Brenda Crabtree, Charmaine Crooks, Dr. Sandy Domi, Howard Grant, Dr. Ruth Granow, Elder Gwen Harry, Dr. Mark Jacquard, Jeremy Kingsman, Chief Robert Louis, Dr. Robin Love, Susanna Pierce, Alan Seckel, Martha Sturdy, Alan Twigg, Dr. John Yee. Know ye that in recognition of serving with the greatest distinction and excellence in a field of endeavor benefiting the people of the province of British Columbia or elsewhere, on the nomination of our Advisory Council to the Order of British Columbia, and with the approval and on the recommendation of the Executive Council, we do by these presents invest you with the Order of British Columbia, and we do hereby admit you to the membership of the said order, together with all and singular the rights, privileges, and advantages to the order pertaining or of which of right ought to appertain to the same. In testimony whereof we have caused these our letters to be made patent, and the great seal of our province to be hereunto affixed. Witness the Honorable Wendy Cocchia, Lieutenant Governor of our province of British Columbia, in our city of Victoria, in our province, in the 3rd year of our reign, by command. Recipients, congratulations. Thank you. You may be seated. And I'll now ask Jeremy to come back to the podium to read the citations.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Again, as Her Honor's Private Secretary, I have the distinct delight of introducing each recipient and reading their citations. Congratulations to you all. I'm just going to get a bit of water. Thank you. I would like to welcome first to the stage Stan Bevan. Stan Bevan of Terrace, Stan Bevan, Satsan, his traditional name, is Taltan Tlingit Tsimshan, Master Carver. He's shaped Northwest Coast First Nations art for more than 40 years through his artistry and dedication to education. In 2006, he co-founded the Frida Deasing School of Northwest Coast Art at Coast Mountain College with Dempsey Bob and Ken McNeil. Over 16 years, Stan mentored more than 150 students, fostering a space where Indigenous artists could master traditional formline design and express their cultural identities. His leadership helped secure funding from the Cargill Foundation and led to 70 alumni works being displayed across the campus. Stan's legacy includes over 100 monumental sculptures now worldwide. 2023, he collaborated with Dempsey Bob and Maori artist Lionel Grant on a totem pole for Emily Carr University. Though his gallery presence declined during his teaching years, his influence grew, inspiring First Nations communities across BC. Humble and generous, Stan credits his students as much as they credit him. Your Honor, Mr. Premier, I present, for the Order of British Columbia, Stan Bevan. Next, I'd like to welcome Graham Clark of Vancouver to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Graham Clark's visionary leadership has been central to Vancouver's rise as a global hub for trade, travel, and tourism. As founding director and longest-serving chair of the Vancouver International Airport Authority, he led YVR's transformation into Canada's first community-based airport authority in 1992. Under his guidance, YVR grew from 10 to over 26 million annual passengers and gained international recognition. He also chaired YVR Airport Services, which is now Vantage Airport Group, expanding Canadian airport expertise globally. Graham advocated for the YVR Art Foundation, which commissioned iconic artworks like the Jade Canoe, designed by Haida artist Bill Reed, as well as the Musqueam art, including the welcoming figures and the spindle whirl. Graham's legacy includes the Graham Clark Atrium, the Vancouver International Maritime Centre, and contributions to the Vancouver Convention Centre. As Honorary Consul General of Austria, he earned the Grand Decoration of Honor. Through the Graham Clark Group of companies, he continues to shape Vancouver's waterfront, launching a seaplane terminal and planning a floating hotel. Graham remains a respected entrepreneur, advocate, and community leader. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Graham Clark. Next, we're delighted to welcome Brenda Crabtree of Vancouver to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Brenda Yahath Alamat Crabtree has spent over 40 years revitalizing and promoting Indigenous heritage. Influenced by her personal experience, she helped reconnect Indigenous artists with their culture, overcoming the legacy of residential schools. As a founding supporter of the Frida Deasing School of Northwest Coast Art, she facilitated an agreement with Emily Carr University and to expand the educational pathways. Her work with the YVR Art Foundation and the B.C. Achievement Awards has supported countless emerging artists. Internationally, she fostered cultural exchanges with Indigenous communities in New Zealand and Hawaii. Brenda raised significant funds creating the Aboriginal Gathering Place at Emily Carr and provided essential resources. Honored by the B.C. Achievement Foundation, she played a key role in the First Nations Art Award Program and the Crabtree McLennan Emerging Artist designation. Her efforts and exhibitions in the B.C. Reconciliation Award reflect her dedication to reconciliation. Recognized widely, Brenda's advocacy ensures Indigenous art and culture thrive for future generations. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Brenda Crabtree. Next, I'd like to welcome Charmaine Crooks of West Vancouver to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Charmaine Crooks is Canada's first female five-time Olympian in athletics, Olympic silver medalist, and a pioneering force in Canadian sport and community leadership. She's inspired generations through her athletic excellence and advocacy for fairness, inclusion, and youth empowerment. For more than 40 years, she's championed athlete rights, ethical governance, and social equity. She serves as a member of the International Olympic Committee, on the Athletes Commission, the Ethics Commission, and the founding Vancouver 2010 Olympic Winter Games Organizing Committee. Charmaine has held other volunteer leadership roles on boards such as the Canadian Olympic Committee, Right to Play, and Canada Soccer. Her volunteer advocacy extends to the Black Opportunity Fund, the Canadian Olympic Foundation, Canucks Autism Network, and Big Sisters. Recognized with the IOC Women and Sport Trophy and inducted into the BC Sports Hall of Fame, Charmaine continues to be a powerful voice for diversity, using her platform to uplift communities and inspire systemic change. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Charmaine Crooks. Thank you. Next, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Dr. Sandy Dami of Richmond to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Dr. Sandy Dami has dedicated more than 25 years to supporting children with special needs across BC. As an educator, clinical counselor, and mental health professional, she's championed neurodivergent children, those with autism, ADHD, anxiety, and learning challenges, ensuring they receive the care and education they deserve. Driven by gaps in resources, she pursued a PhD in childhood attachment and utilizes evidence-based approaches like cognitive behavioral, psychological attachment, and play therapy. She has led social emotional programming in BC schools, teaching mindfulness, conflict resolution, and self-esteem to students. Dr. Dami's impact extends well beyond her local community, and she also conducts workshops on mental health and inclusive education on a national and international scale. Her cross-cultural outreach has supported families from South Asian, First Nations, and Asian communities, reducing stigma and increasing access to care. Throughout her career, Dr. Dami has been fortunate to receive guidance and mentorship from esteemed leaders at the Pacific Autism Family Network, Michael Caccioni Childhood Cancer Foundation, and West Point Grey Academy. They've taught her that compassionate leadership has the power to foster inclusive environments where every child has the opportunity to flourish. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Dr. Sandy Dami. Next, I'd like to welcome Howard Grant of Vancouver to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Howard Grant, Kai Apa Lanoch, has served over 26 years as Executive Director of the First Nations Summit Society and 37 years as Musqueam Council member, demonstrating lifelong dedication to Indigenous leadership. With senior roles in Indian and Northern Affairs and as Musqueam Band Manager, his expertise has shaped key initiatives like the MST Development Corporation, First Nations Health Authority, and Finance Authority. His Chinese and Musqueam heritage inspires his work promoting cultural understanding, including films connecting Chinese and First Nations communities. Howard has championed Indigenous rights in landmark cases like R versus Guerin and R versus Sparrow, and led efforts in language preservation, sustainability, and economic development. He played a vital role in the BC government's 2014 apology to the Chinese community. As a mentor, ambassador, and advocate, Howard's leadership fosters reconciliation, justice, and inclusive community development. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Howard Grant. Next one's on here. I've received the thumbs up that the next recipient to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia is Dr. Ruth Grunow, visiting us via Zoom. And with a little help from her daughter Rachel, pinch hitting for her honor, we'll place the medal on her mother. And now I will read the citation, Dr. Grunow. Dr. Ruth Grunow has transformed neonatal care through her groundbreaking research in infant pain. She developed the neonatal facial coding system, the first validated tool to assess infant pain, adapted worldwide. At BC Children's Hospital, she was a foundational member of BC's first neonatal follow-up clinic. Dr. Grunow discovered that repeated NICU pain and stress can significantly impact brain development, stress regulation, and behavior well into adolescence. Her research identified genetic, hormonal, and sex-specific factors in pain vulnerability and revealed that common treatments like morphine and sucrose may have unintended neurodevelopmental effects. A leader in the family integrated care trial, she showed that involving parents in NICU care improves outcomes. Dr. Grunow has more than 240 refereed journal publications, 35 book chapters, and $88 million in research funding and global recognition with international awards. She ranks among the top 1.5% of cited researchers. A dedicated mentor and advocate, her work has shaped clinical practices, public policy, and improved outcomes for vulnerable infants and families worldwide. Dr. Grunow loves to spend time with her 8 grandchildren. That sounds fantastic. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Dr. Ruth Grunow.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Dr. Rachel, whose hands you see in the background. Next, I'm delighted to welcome Elder Gwen Harry, Squamish. Thank you so much. Elder Gwen Harry, Wigistame of the Squamish First Nation, has devoted more than 70 years of education, advocacy, and cultural preservation. As a residential school survivor, she turned hardship into a lifelong mission of service. In the 1960s, she founded Totem Preschool, one of Canada's first Indigenous early learning centers. As a Squamish Nation councillor, she helped secure key agreements like the Sea to Sky Highway and Aboriginal enhancement agreements. She was instrumental in the founding of Quest University, later receiving its very first honorary doctorate and inspiring the Gwen Harry Award for Indigenous students. A respected voice in reconciliation, she's honored guest representing her community as part of the 2008 Federal Apology for Residential Schools. Her leadership spans generations, raising 7 children, mentoring youth, and advising leaders. Honored with awards including the Queen Elizabeth II Golden Jubilee Medal, Elder Gwen remains a powerful force for healing, justice, and education. At 94 years young, her legacy continues to inspire across communities and generations. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, a richly deserving Elder Gwen Harry. That's good, yeah. Ooh. I think we need that. Next, I'd like to welcome Dr. Mark Jackard of Vancouver to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Dr. Jackard is a renowned climate energy economist and professor at Simon Fraser University. He spent more than 30 years advancing climate solutions through research, policy, and public engagement. A pioneer in energy economy modeling, he developed innovations now used globally to guide decarbonization strategies. His work helped shape BC's climate policy leadership with its subsequent Canada-wide influence. As chair of the BC Utilities Commission in the 1990s, he led energy regulatory reforms that became national standards. Internationally, he advised governments in China, Europe, and Latin America, contributing to major assessments like the Intergovernmental Plan on Climate Change and the UN-led Global Energy Assessment. Dr. Jackard's books, including the Citizen's Guide to Climate Success and his public outreach, have made climate economics and policy accessible. He's advised leaders from Vancouver's mayor to Canada's prime minister while mentoring a generation of climate policy experts. His career exemplifies the power of combining academic rigor with civic responsibility to drive meaningful climate action. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Dr. Mark Jackard. Next, I'd like to welcome a fellow Jeremy Kinsman of Victoria, to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. For over 60 years, former Ambassador Jeremy Kinsman has exemplified distinguished service to Canada through diplomacy, journalism, and public discourse. Following key diplomatic postings in Washington at the United Nations, he served as Ambassador or High Commissioner in Moscow, Rome, London, and to the European Union. In these roles, he engaged with global leaders to advance peace, human rights, international cooperation, and Canadian interests. Since retiring from the diplomatic service in 2006 and settling in British Columbia, he's become a respected media commentator in world affairs, appearing on CTV's Diplomatic Community, contributing regular columns to Policy Magazine, and writing for Canadian and international publications, including the New York Times and the Globe and Mail. He's held academic appointments at Princeton and the University of California in Berkeley as a Regents lecturer. And for a decade, he's directed an international democracy support program for the community of democracies. His publications have informed and inspired audiences and democracy advocates worldwide. As a distinguished fellow of the Canadian International Council, he continues to promote diplomacy, sustainability, and democratic values through public speaking, podcasting, and civil society advocacy. His enduring contributions reflect a lifelong commitment to global understanding, principled diplomacy, and elevating Canada's role on the international stage. Your Honor, Mr. Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Mr. Jeremy Kinsman. Next, I'm delighted to welcome Chief Robert Louis Simo of West Kelowna to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Chief Rob Louis, CMU, has spent more than 50 years advancing Indigenous self-governance, self-government and economic empowerment. As Chief of West Bank First Nation for more than 27 years, he led the negotiation of the landmark West Bank Self-Government Agreement, setting a national precedent. Under his leadership, West Bank First Nation achieved economic self-sufficiency and sustainable growth. Beyond his community, Chief Louis served on over 30 corporate boards and is the chairman and director of Peace Hills Trust, which is Canada's largest Indigenous financial institution. As chair of the First Nations Lands Advisory Board, he's championed land governance and economic development for First Nations right across Canada. He's also represented Canada at the World Indigenous Business Forum and advised institutions like O.B.C. and the B.C. Achievement Foundation. Honored as an officer of the Order of Canada, his lifetime of service has inspired a national movement towards Indigenous equity and reconciliation. Chief Louis has demonstrated bold leadership and created lasting, transformative change. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Chief Rob Louis. If anyone needs a little stretch, you can do that. All right. I would like to now welcome Dr. Robin Love of Lantzville to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Dr. Robin Love, a family and palliative care physician in Nanaimo, has spent more than 30 years transforming end-of-life care right here in BC. As founding medical director of palliative care at Nanaimo Regional General Hospital, he led the creation of a 13-bed unit, a symptom management clinic, and a community-based team, which now models all of holistic care. A passionate educator, he's trained hundreds of healthcare professionals through O.B.C, UVic, and international programs. His global impact includes helping establish Nepal's national strategy for palliative care and a center of excellence in Bhaktapur, Nepal. Known for his kindness and mentorship, Dr. Love supports colleagues through complex cases and fosters a culture of compassion and resilience. As a O.B.C clinical professor and leader in the Nanaimo Family Medicine Residency Program, he shaped future care providers. His enduring influence continues to elevate the standards of palliative care and medical education across communities over generations. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Dr. Robin Love. I would now be delighted to welcome Susanna Pierce of West Vancouver to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Susanna Pierce, President and Country Chair of Shell Canada until this year, is a trailblazing leader whose 30-year career has redefined the role of business in society. A champion of environmental, social, and governance integration, she's led transformative initiative across Canada and globally, fostering collaboration among governments, Indigenous communities, NGOs, and industry. She played a key role in LNG Canada, Canada's largest private sector investment, prioritizing reconciliation with First Nations. At Shell, she advanced a greener future through renewable energy, carbon capture, and nature-based solutions. Beyond business, Susanna mentors young female immigrants, supports Indigenous youth through Inspire, and founded the Human Trafficking Prevention Network of BC to bring corporate BC and organizations committed to combating human trafficking throughout the province. She also works with the Native Women's Association of Canada and the BC Network of Child and Youth Advocacy Centres. A sought-after global speaker, Susanna uses the platform to inspire systemic change. Her work continues to shape a more inclusive, sustainable, and socially responsible future. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Susanna Pierce. Next, I'm delighted to welcome Alan Seckel of Vancouver to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Alan Seckel is a visionary leader whose career spans law, public service, healthcare, and community advocacy. As BC's Deputy Attorney, he spearheaded Canada's first apology legislation and new rules of court and launched the Downtown East Side Community Court. As a Cabinet Secretary and head of the BC Public Service, he led 30,000 employees and modernized government operations. Later, as CEO of Doctors of BC, he championed equity, collaboration, and engagement in the healthcare system. Additionally, Alan has chaired Legal Aid BC, BC Housing, and Covenant House Vancouver. He's also chaired the Mobility Pricing Independent Commission and served on the boards of ICBC, TransLink, and the TELUS Community Board, and acted as the first Fair Practices Commissioner for WorkSafe BC. In 2023, Alan was appointed to amalgamate 11 health professional regulators into 2 regulatory colleges, subsequently becoming chair of both new colleges. To every role, Alan brings strategic vision, compassion, and a deep commitment to public good, driving meaningful change across BC's legal, social, and civil landscapes. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Mr. Alan Seckel. That's a tough one. Next, I'm delighted to call upon Martha Sturdy of West Vancouver. Call her to the stage to receive the insignia of the Order of British Columbia. Martha Sturdy is a pioneering Canadian artist whose 6-decade career has made a lasting impact on the global creative landscape. In 1978, a 1978 graduate of the Vancouver School of Art, which is now Emily Carr University of Art and Design, she first gained international acclaim for her bold, wearable sculptures featured in Vogue and on major fashion runways. Her practice spans large-scale sculpture created in resin, steel, brass, aluminum, and salvaged cedar, and has been showcased in leading publications around the world. Despite global success, she remained rooted here in BC, mentoring artists and supporting her community. Her accolades include the Queen Elizabeth II Golden Jubilee Medal an induction into the Royal Canadian Academy of Arts, and an honorary doctorate from Emily Carr University. A dedicated philanthropist, she served on boards such as the Audain Art Museum and committees such as the Vancouver Chinatown Foundation. Now in her early 80s, she continues to create monumental works inspired by the West Coast, exemplifying a lifelong devotion to creativity, community, and the natural environment. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Martha Sturdy. Next up, we call Alan Twigg of Vancouver to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Alan Twigg has been a cornerstone of BC's literary culture for over 5 decades. He founded BC Book World, Canada's largest circulation independent literary publication, and created ABC Book World, an online encyclopedia featuring over 12,500 BC authors and attracting 1.5 million annual visitors. A prolific writer, he's authored over 20 books, contributed to 10 more, and published thousands of articles. He also produced documentaries, hosted CBC programs, and co-founded the Ormsby Review and the BC Book Look. Alan helped establish major literary awards, including the BC Book Prizes and the George Riga Award. A strong advocate for Indigenous literature, he featured First Nations voices in every issue of BC Book World for over 30 years and created the Indigenous Literary Map of BC. His work in social justice and cultural exchange spans the globe. Alan's enduring contributions have shaped BC's literary identity and empowered generations of writers, readers, and cultural advocates. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Alan Twigg. Next up, we call Dr. John Yee of Vancouver. Please come to the stage to receive the insignia for the Order of British Columbia. Dr. John Yee has revolutionized thoracic surgery in BC through his exceptional leadership, surgical skill, and dedication to patients. As head of BC Transplant's lung transplant program, he performed 97% of the province's lung transplants over the last 20 years, including a record 77 double lung transplants in 2023. Born to immigrant parents in Montreal, Dr. Yee returned to Canada from his faculty position at the University of Michigan in 2003 and committed to rebuild a program that completed only 1 double lung transplant the year prior. British Columbians now benefit from one of Canada's highest per capita rates of lung transplant access, with a median survival of nearly double the global average. In 2022, Dr. Yee helped launch Canada's first provincially funded lung cancer screening initiative. Generations of surgeons mentored by Dr. Yee hold academic appointments worldwide. A compassionate physician, educator, and visionary leader, Dr. Yee continues to shape the future of healthcare in BC through innovation, excellence, and unwavering service. Your Honor, Premier, I present for the Order of British Columbia, Dr. John E. Wow, I gotta say, what a group. Like, every year I'm ceaselessly amazed, but this year's cohort is absolutely outstanding. That's the 17 for this year. How about we ask the recipients if they can and would like to rise just for one more round of applause. Okay, I will now turn the mic back to my wonderful colleague, Lucy.
Thank you, Jeremy. I'd now like to call on the Honorable David O.B.C, Premier of British Columbia, to provide your remarks. Premier.
Thanks, Lucy. Thanks, Jeremy. It's so good to see everybody here today. First of all, Chief Thomas, Councillor Sam, thanks for the welcome to the territory. I don't know about you guys, but that was a lot more lungs than I expected to see this afternoon. Still processing. Not a real blood and guts guy. Dr. Yeh, I'm glad you are. I am so grateful for the contributions of our recipients this year to the amazing province that we have the opportunity to live in. Whether we're talking about arts or science, business, the nonprofit sector, your leaders, your entrepreneurs, athletes, your achievements are remarkable. You have heard many times today about how great you are, and indeed you are fantastic. But I'm going to focus my remarks in a little bit of a different direction. First of all, you heard there are some rights and privileges that come with the award. It includes, and it's the most popular privilege that comes with it, is 10% off at White Spot. If they say they don't know what you're talking about, just tell them the Premier said it was fine. Where I want to focus my remarks is on the people behind you and the people who aren't here right now. I don't know, but I suspect that your achievements were not accomplished solely, individually by you. And when you sit and you reflect on your career, on your life, on the opportunities you had, on the paths you could have taken versus the paths that you did take, there were people along the way. They might have been parents or coaches or friends, mentors, colleagues. I don't know your story, but I do know that you're not here alone. And I see all of the people sitting behind you, and I know, we got Martin's dad got an award. We got, Jordan's mom got an award. I see Wade's dad got an award. There are families who are here, and there are people here who are sitting behind you, who are cheering for you, who are advocating for you. And I suspect, but I don't know, that in order to end up on this stage today, you had to make sacrifices and make decisions, and occasionally the cost of those decisions landed on other people. I know that these jobs are demanding. I know that leadership roles are challenging. And you stepped into them, but not alone, with the support of the people who are here and those who maybe aren't here, but have had your back the whole way. So I wonder if you would join me in thanking the people who made it possible for you to be here today. with a round of applause for the people sitting behind you and those who would be here if they could to cheer you on today. As a member of the legislature, I wanted to recognize a few people who are here today. I see my colleague George Anderson is here from Nanaimo to cheer on his constituents who are recognized today. I see the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, Raj Chauhan. I see my former colleague, Jordan Sturdy, who's here and whose farm our family regularly stops at on the way up to Grandpa's cabin. And I see Wally Opal is here as well. My apologies if I missed other elected officials. And Chief Sparrow, it's good to see you on this side of the water. A distinguished crowd supporting a remarkable set of nominees. Congratulations to everybody. I hope you have a wonderful celebration. Well-deserved, well-earned. Thank you to every committee member. There were many people who were deserving, and it must have been an incredibly challenging task, but you presented us with a wonderful panel of recipients this year. Thank you for your work. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Premier. I'd now like to call on Chief Robert Louie of the West Bank First Nation to provide remarks on behalf of all the newly inducted members of the Order. Chief Louie.
What an honor. It's not often that one gets to follow the Premier in a speech. Your Honors, Mr. Premier, members of the Advisory Council, members of the First Nations Leadership Council, fellow recipients, distinguished guests, friends, and family. Wai lim lim. Good afternoon. Ich esquis simu. It is a profound honor to stand before you today on the traditional lands of the Songhees and Esquimalt nations, and to speak on behalf of my fellow inductees. Each of us comes from a different path. Indigenous artistry, mentorship, dedication, and education. Visionary leader in trade, travel, tourism, and aviation. Athletic excellency to Olympic legacy and sports advocacy. Supporting children with special needs and addressing mental health. Transforming neonatal care and addressing infant pain. Devotion to education, advocacy, and cultural preservation. Advocating climatic solutions and advising governments for meaningful change. Advancing world peace, diplomacy, and journalism. Transforming end-of-life care and elevating standards of palliative care. Advancing a greener future through LNG, renewable energy, carbon capture, and nature-based solutions. Transforming public service in law, healthcare, transportation, public safety, and community advocacy. Pioneering artist in Vogue, major fashion, sculptures, and mentoring artists. Shaping BC's literary, cultural identity and empowering and inspiring writers, readers, and cultural advocates. Revolutionizing thoracic surgery and lung transplants in BC and Canada. Advancing Indigenous self-governance and economic empowerment. The diversity of our journeys is striking, yet what brings us together is a shared purpose to serve, to create, and to contribute to the well-being of British Columbia and beyond. We did not begin our work with honors in mind. We began with a conviction that something needed to be done, that a problem could be solved, that a community could be strengthened, that a voice is deserved to be heard. The Order of British Columbia is a humbling recognition of those efforts, but more importantly, It is a reminder that each contribution, whether large or small, adds to the framework of this province. None of us arrived here alone. We are deeply grateful to our families, colleagues, mentors, and friends, the people who supported us with patience, encouragement, and love. Your faith in us has been the quiet force that allowed us to persevere. We also thank those who nominated us and the Advisory Council for the care taken in this process. To be recognized alongside such extraordinary people is both humbling and inspiring. Today's ceremony is not only about our accomplishments, but about possibilities. It affirms that when people across British Columbia, across generations, cultures, and communities share their talents and dedication, we all thrive. On behalf of my fellow recipients, I offer our deepest thanks. We are honored to receive the Order of British Columbia, and we are committed to continuing the work that has brought us here today. Lim Lim, it is an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, Chief Louis. So, the official party and the members of the Advisory Council and the recipients are about to leave for a photograph in the foyer. The reception will begin shortly. Please visit the dining room for some canapes and desserts, and the recipients will join you shortly. Now, would you please stand as you are able as Callum comes back to lead us in the singing of God Save the King, and please remain standing for the departure of the official ballroom, or official party, and thank you so much for being here today.
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King.